It's your boy Prince of Pain coming live from Pop Radio Worldwide, putting on people radio, here with iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium. Awareness, empowerment, education, and culture is what's coming up out of Pop Radio. And with today's, Zoom 10, we are presenting one of our great motivational podcasts, Melanie Hogan and the Chilove Radio Show. Everybody make some noise, Melanie. What's up, Melanie?
Hey, love. Welcome to this wonderful but humid Thursday. Welcome to the Chilove Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. Hosted by yours truly, Melanie Hogan. My friends call me Mel. The Chilove Radio Show is sponsored by Chilove LLC. So before we begin to talk about talking about children today, we're going to start off with 3 deep breaths. You're going to inhale, hold for 3 seconds, and exhale. We'll do this together 3 times. 1. 2. 3. All right. So let's ground ourselves. Let's focus on what's happening right now in the present. And let's start our discussion about this July 4th weekend and what's going on with the Chicago police officers, as well as what's been happening with the children here in the city. So starting today, because of the July 4th weekend, the Superintendent Brown has deployed 1,200 additional police officers onto Chicago's streets. Now, he said that now within the Chicago Police Department, they are supposed to be minimizing overtime for the police officers, and I guess working on their budget. But because of Memorial Day weekend and the violence that occurred during that weekend, he is allowing overtime and putting these police officers out here for the safety of the residents.
What do you think about that?
What you say?
I said, what you think about that, love?
Seeing what is going on right now with the tension between the police and the resident.
Yes.
And I know that his
1,200.
plan is to make sure that we're safe. I'm thinking that right now at this time, a lot of the residents don't respect the police. So having an extra 1,200 out there may be a little counterproductive, because at this point, a lot of people carry energy to where they're willing to take on the police at this time.
I believe they're being rewarded, Melanie. You know, look at the unemployment rate right now. Look at what's happened since March, where how many people lost their jobs and businesses.
Yeah.
And then since March, you know, you've had a lot of, how do I put this, tension in the whole United States.
Right.
Amongst the people for something that's been happening. Police brutality been happening forever. So George Floyd, and them now being reprimanded in the microscope on them right now, I feel like, you know, if you put another 1,200 police on the Chicago streets, but you ain't opening no jobs for no folks, or helping the folks out that have lost their jobs, I don't think that's a wise. I mean, I don't think that's a moral. I don't think that's morally good for Chicago right now.
Yeah. The atmosphere has changed. And like you said, it's been so much that we've been dealing with in 2020 alone, not to mention from the previous years. But right now, the atmosphere is in a enough is enough mode. And you have people who have always defied the law, but because of what has been happening, even people who are usually law followers are starting to just get impatient, with everything and feeling like, they're cooperating with the government for nothing. Because look at what is continuing to happen. And yes, they're starting to recommend some of the police officers, which is good. But as we saw, even after the incident with George Floyd, there was a continuance of violence between police and residents. More people was still dying, under their jurisdiction.
But you know
So to
what?
deploy.
And I agree, and that's true, Melanie. You're 100% right, 150% right. But how about, because I always think of stuff from the other side, from all sides. You know what I'm saying? I try to. Right. I'm even trying to think for the police, And
yeah,
I'm really thinking about the recruits that are coming in, the ones that was just recruits right before all this kicked off. And I'm thinking about their mentality on tradition, on how how you go through the army, you get trained a certain way, and you got to go by them chain of commands, them kind of rules, and so you're taught to kill or hunt, drive airplanes, do whatever it is that they train you in this academy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not to go back to them dudes that was there that day that didn't murder him, make the moral decision by not interacting. But what you got going on in Chicago right now, and we a big city, putting 12 more hundred police that haven't even been, we ain't even went through the reform system yet. We ain't, you just had the top cop of Chicago talking about he wasn't drunk at the back of the wheel.
Wait, first of all, I'm gonna have to take a little stop at that place that he was at, because they said they make some pretty good drinks. So I want to go and check it out.
They said, look, he got popped off where they got the stiffest drinks in Chicago. You hear me? They triple shots.
My guess was you drinking on job time, and then he was busted for cheating.
Yes.
So it's like that was just a bad day for him.
and lying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
that was it was a bad day for
him. But it's a privilege, it's been a privilege, man, for the last my whole existence of life. Since I remember I got pulled over when I was 15, Melanie, with mommy, for cutting off a cop in traffic. I ain't even have no license yet. I was 15 years old. Okay. But I was trying to learn how to drive, so I get my permit in my freshman year, 16. So my mom let me bully her real quick to go and let me drive the car real quick. And I pulled up. I remember I cut off a cop on accident, and he got so mad that I cut him off. He pulled me over. He pulled not only the gun and mishandled me as a teenager, but he put the gun in my mama's face and told her, man, get on and mind your business for nothing over a traffic stop. You know what I'm saying? And I was a minor at the time. But my point is, it's a privilege to these officers to be on the streets. And the reason that all this stuff is getting caused and we losing our black and our brown youth and our brothers and our sisters in the streets to police brutality in their hands is because they approach us with a whole miseducated and belligerent way to approach a person who's from the hood, especially if you're not from the hood. If we're losing our kids to a traffic stop, we're losing our kids to an illegal strip and search or a season search, we're losing our kids to just police planning something on you. So you gotta look at it from all sides of it.
I try to, because in order for us to elevate and really start to bring some solutions about, the perception cannot be one-sided. And ideally, it's best to try to make this work out for everybody, because as I say, we have to learn how to share this space. And unfortunately, a lot of innocent people have been impacted by unjust police brutality, but at the same time, there are monsters walking the streets out here.
Okay. True that.
So,
you know why they
and it's like sometimes you need a bad guy to take down another bad guy, huh?
You know why they beefing up on 12 more honey? I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know. I don't know. Pop, remember you was with me you was on me about the black and white thing, right? Remember you was on me about that? And I see a lot of stuff just naturally on accident. I look at black and white. I look at the numbers that's in black and white. I look at the truth that's in black and white. I don't pay no attention to nothing else. What I'm watching right now is that, California just beefed up. Chicago finna beef up. But the reason they really beefing up is because they couldn't control what happened. They couldn't. So now they want some money. Now the next step, hold on, and I'm telling you, it's gonna come to Chicago next. Okay, if they let it happen. California just announced yesterday, the governor, that if he sees any wild little protests this time, because they locked them back down for another surge of coronavirus. So if he sees any more unpeaceful protests, that he's going to that there, and pretty much, I can't say, but anyways, whatever the hell that word is right there, and pretty much it means to take everybody's gun license and take everybody's gun privileges. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's a big move. You beef up on the police, and then you take everybody's amendment right from the Constitution, which you can't bear no arms. You know what the next step is after that? Martial law.
Yeah, that's a problem. So. That's everything is. I'm glad that more things are being revealed, because it's time to just really start to, put our nose to the ground and really start to come up with some sort of solution. And that's why I advocate so hard for healing and reconditioning, because there are so many of us in Chicago, in the United States, in the world period, who has experienced some sort of PTSD and experienced some type of trauma. So as long as we're seeing from that scope, we're going to continue to make decisions, from that vibration. And from the police officers to the residents to the state officials, like, everybody needs to do some personal work on themselves, so that we can get out of this whole self-preservation mentality that we have, survival of the fittest. It's like we should not be living in such a competition to each other, to where we mentally are thinking we're going to be the last one standing. What type of world is that, to where it's only one person left or one group of people left? That's the beauty of the world, because it's such a variety and so many of us and so many talents and skills. And if we just learn how to hold a conversation, if we just learn how to be considerate of others, if we learn how to treat others as we want to be treated, instead of having this elitism to where we can do something to somebody, but they can't do it back to us. We need to let go of those ideals, because yes, we have developed things economically and on a technology standpoint, but we as a people are failing horribly. And what is they're not understanding is all of this is coming down to how a person is treated. I don't care who you are, you remember how somebody treated you. And that stuff, traumatizes you, causes anxiety. It can really just have damaging effects on the individual. We need to be more considerate about the type of energy that we are transferring down here. And as far as the police, like you said, with the training that they have, when I was at DePaul University, they was telling us that the police officers, part of their training was that they put pictures up of residents that are profiled. And, they saying, okay, they usually wear a white tee, they hair a certain way, they just giving a whole profile, but they're not referring to these people as people. They're referring to these people as monsters, as beasts, as savages. So if you're training a person to kill a beast, and you're saying that the beast unfortunately looks like one of these common Black young men who just are a part of the culture. Now you don't even know, you can't even really recognize the good from the bad because you're just profiling them on their way of dress or their dialect or, you know, just how they live their common life. So to train somebody to deal with people and you're referring to these people as beasts and as monsters, that's the first mistake. You know, it's there are people who do bad things. If we could try to come from that aspect, this is still a person that's doing something bad versus this is a monster. This is a beast. Like I said, Disney World already conditioned us in our mind to kill the beast. So immediately, if I am conditioned to recognize a beast as somebody with the dreads and Air Force Ones and a white tee or whatever, on instantly, you know, my defenses are risen because now I feel like my life is in jeopardy. So now I'm willing to take this beast down versus looking at this person as a person and trying to, at least like that's why I'm for community policing. We need to find out what is going on. Like even the people who are doing bad things, is something behind that that needs to be addressed. But nevertheless, they're deploying these police officers, and I call it a necessary evil to a certain point because it's like the Chiracians who are engaging in this type of behavior. You know, it's really getting out of control because a lot more innocent people are being killed and a lot more children, especially over the past couple of weeks, are being killed. And that is intensifying the energy as well. So the police at this time are the ones who are legally able to step in and do something about the situation. So it's like, I guess on one hand, we do need them to step in as far as really catching the ones who out here on some mess. I just need them to, I don't know, it's like, okay, yes, I know that she was trained, but what about your intuition? You know what I'm saying? I saw one of my Facebook friends. Now, this woman graduated from DePaul University, the law school sector.
Okay.
She is not into none of this stuff. And she just posted like yesterday that she got pulled over by the police officer and she asked him why. And he said, well, the violence is increasing in the city. What the hell they got to do with her?
Right. Hey, Melanie, can I say something on a positive note? You know,
yeah.
So, you know, I believe, you know, and I say stuff that I believe. I say that to mean it ain't never facts, but that's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I strongly believe that sometimes in order for good, there got to be bad. Or in order for peace, there has to be war sometimes. And I believe, I'm optimistic that 50 to 100 years from now, that our youth and our kids are so smart and so educated that nobody's gonna look at color in 50 years from now. You know what I'm saying? That we're going through the big evolution and revolution now that, it's too late for, you got our kids in kindergarten wondering why they ain't at school. You know what I'm saying? First grade, second grade, and understanding who George Floyd is. This is a whole nother Martin Luther King time, just on a whole nother scale. You know what I'm saying?
A change, as Sam Cooke say, a change is gonna come, and we're definitely in the process of it. And I actually feel grateful that I'm here at this time to even be a part of it. Like, we don't even recognize how we are a part of this huge change that's coming. And there are some Caucasian people that I was in a few meetings with who were discussing the whole racism matter. And they are saying that their ancestors had nothing to do with the slavery. Their ancestors had nothing to do with the slavery, that their people actually came after the fact. So a lot of them are feeling like they're being blamed for something their ancestors and, you know, their families had nothing to do with. And the racism card is always being brought up in a situation. So what they actually shared that they were um, urging their people to do was to procreate with a lot more people of color, so that when these new babies come in, you cannot tell your baby that they are black or white. You have to raise your child saying that they are mixed race. And that's part of their idea for starting to curb this whole racism thing with the whole black and white, because they're saying if the child is, you know, has 50-50, both black and white, now it can't be a fight. It can't be a fight because it's like there's a oneness there. They combined and there's a oneness there. So a lot of people are trying to, you know, just come up with ways to get the whole thing, stop the whole thing about racism. But what they also have to understand is that the systematic part of the racism, to where, you know, people incomes are capped, or they only receiving certain type of services because of the neighborhood that they're in. And, you know, so we have to take it way past the color. We have to also fix the things that the government has held against us because of our color. But we can do it. You know, we get this far, and somebody thought that they was doing a good thing by setting it up like this. And unfortunately, this is a lesson learned for everybody involved. You know, a person is a person, and you can't deem them as second and third class citizens and then expect them to get on the front line when stuff starts to get heavy. You can't tell and treat people like they're outcasts and say, well, you're not one of us. But then when the shit hits the fan, you call them for all arms and you call them for everybody to rise up. Inclusiveness is what helps you to complete those type of goals when you need a unity. You put everybody on the same platform. You put everybody on the same wavelength so that everybody can feel like this is actually ours that we're fighting for. A lot of people don't care about their neighborhood or their community because they're saying, okay, I live here, but I just exist here. I don't have a say, so they don't care about what I say. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. So, you know, you have to motivate and inspire people and include them if you want their participation. Just this whole fact of, you know, I'm whatever title I am and I have this entitlement over you to control you. We're not really about that anymore. You don't have as many people willing to comply because we don't trust you. And the people who have been giving you a chance to show yourself, improve yourself, you have been a constant disappointment over and over again. And then people who trying to go with the law, we're finding ourselves capped and put in a certain little box. And at this time, with this energy, everybody ready to bust out the box. So it's like, you know, it has to be some give and take on all sides, on all sides.
Melanie, I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. Do you know if Minneapolis, Minnesota still has a police department?
I don't know for sure. The last that I heard was that they were still in the process of talking about defunding the police stations and all. I don't know for sure. I had to check into that.
And then I seen, because the reason I asked, then I seen Atlanta, a couple of videos where they ain't really had no police. You know.
Well, so, you know what? We're going to keep an eye on them and see how that's working.
So my question is, are some states already like abolishing the police already?
Now, I did read something where certain states are moving forward with defunding the police, and they are using those funds to go towards social service organizations and things to help to, you know, pour into the community and help to uplift the community. Hopefully, they're using some of the funds to create some sort of community policing within the people who stay in the community, because we can't just let, you know, those who are willfully trying to destroy the people just run rapid. Now, something needs to be done. You know, so we do need some type of authority, because at this point, unfortunately, everyone does not understand that they actually have the power to govern themselves, and your power is in the decision making. So, we do need somebody to be able to step in.
I always had a dream. I always had a dream. I lived in the Wild Wild West. Yeah.
You said you had a dream. What?
I've always had dreams. I lived in the Wild Wild West once upon a time.
Oh. By the way things going, it's looking like it's going to manifest. As you said, sometimes we have to go to war in order to get to peace. As Medea say, sometimes you got to carry a peace in order to establish some peace. Yes. So, because we have to look at reality. There are people out here who are handlers of evil, and their motive is to destroy. And we can't have that. Just even on a spiritual note, we are moving into a whole new world here. So the things of the old world cannot come with the new world. And that has to be understood. So we definitely just have to make some changes within ourselves first. We have to make some changes within ourselves first and start to work on our own healing. Because although things tragically have happened and have impacted us, you have to understand what type of power you are giving these situations over your life that is stopping you from becoming your best self, that is stopping you from walking in your God self, so that you can elevate and walk in your purpose here. You said you want to do better, you want to be better, you want to see better. It all starts within. And as we start to love ourselves and heal and everything more, the energy is going to change. This is all connected to energy. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. So once we start to impact that energy, we will start to see some positive changes. And I stand on that, because it is the energy that has gotten us to this point now. Look at how we treat each other.
I think we need more motivators, more inspirers. You heard?
What you say?
I think we need more motivators, more inspirers. Today I went to the gas station for 2 seconds while I'm in the car just to buy one little thing. And the employee behind the register, come on. Bad energy for nothing. You trying to throw my morning off just barking at me. And it's a lot of bad tension and whatnot.
Yeah, it is. You can feel the difference in the air. It's like everybody is on edge at one level or another. So, and because of that, if I was a police officer or the superintendent, and I'm seeing that everybody is on edge, I'm seeing that innocent people are being impacted by this. Our youth, babies, like 1-year-olds, are being murdered unjustly. They don't have a chance. They like, everybody's saying, oh, well, we need somebody who's going to change the world. How do y'all know that y'all not killing the little kids who have a purpose to cooperate, participate in changing the world? You're killing them. You're not even giving them a chance to live because you're miserable. So I feel like if you're at the crossroads to where you're so miserable, you really want death, and you're willing to shoot into a car and take the son of a mother who is sitting next to her son and take his life, I think you should take your life. That baby deserves to live. The baby is innocent. If you are that miserable to where you're not willing to, I just feel like he'll be killed. He'll be killed at this moment. We cannot continue to have all of these liabilities when we're trying to build up. Now, everything should be reset. There should be more programs and organizations who are out here who are promoting individual self-care, wellness, reconditioning, healing, teaching us how to forgive certain situations. Now, to forgive does not mean that you continuously allow that into your life, but it is to let go of the power that situation is holding over you so that you can come on. Because you're miserable, you don't know what to do. But a lot of people, unfortunately, they want a change. They want things to improve, but they're not willing to do anything to see those results. And yet they continue to exercise the habits that are making them miserable. You have to understand what you're doing with yourself. Use those brain healing YouTube meditations. They work. They will allow you to start to see yourself as you really are versus the image and the delusion that you have set within yourself, because you're adding to the unnecessary violence. And then when we have something that is necessary, a lot of the same people who told me these guns, where y'all at? When the police is in your neighborhood and they snatching up females and they stepping over kids, stepping on kids, where y'all at then? That's when we need y'all Chiracians to step up for something that matters. Not because somebody said something about you on Facebook, because a person smiles a lot, so you feel like you gotta take them out. Like, come on. If you're gonna kill, make it for a reason. And then definitely hit your target. Like, I just don't understand that. I don't respect that. If you are not willing to look this man in his eye and watch him take his last breath, maybe you should go into another field of life. Because all this clout off of some fake killing, group killing, you shooting, and then you got to go catch the news or listen to the streets to see if the person did. Like, if I was a person over establishment like that, and that's the type of stuff that we was doing, you better not come back to me with, I don't know if you did. I mean, when I tell you to look into this man's eye and you better watch him take his last breath, and I want to hear that it is done. Don't come to me about something. We got to keep our ear to the street to see if bloody gas. Like, no. Okay? You're not as tough as you think you are. And that is okay.
You know what I did to dude at the gas station that was huffing and puffing while my mom was in the car?
What?
I made him reset and take 3 breaths. I made him take 3 deep breaths.
Good. Good.
Right hand of God. I told him, it's not that serious. I'm not the one you just want to mess my whole energy up out of you. You breathing the wrong energy. Do me a favor, bro. Respectfully, take 3 deep breaths. Hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm seriously, bro. I'm not even trying to, macho, disrespect. Do me a favor, bro. That's how you can apologize. Take 3 deep breaths. Have a great day. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, bro.
That's good. I'm proud of you. Yes. Sometimes you gotta.
At 7 o'clock in the morning this morning, this guy trying to throw me.
Sometimes you gotta understand that you have that power too, and the way that we respond to stuff matters too. I know a lot of personal conversations between Mom, Daddy, God, and I. They saying, you could, by the way that you respond to stuff, you could make or break a situation. And that was a great example that Pop just used about the low vibrating employee at the gas station. And he could have.
You actually, this show right here, I'm not even going to take the credit for it, number one. God spoke to me, and he told me to use an exercise that we do every beginning of this show. And it just came to my head right there. Tell this dude to take 3 deep breaths before he sent you somewhere in a situation y'all don't want to really get into. So it made him reevaluate everything. The message that I told him was pretty much reset, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but that came from you, Melanie, helping me, exercise my PTSD sometimes before I bug up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm working some shit out too still. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I recognize
and that is important. The way a lot of times we can turn and transmute energy. We can turn it around by the way that we respond to stuff. And I'm proud of you, and that was an excellent example.
My mama was proud of me. You hear me? My mama was proud of me. I made her day. You hear me? I made mama day.
I'm proud of you, Pop. We have to, and that's what the Holy Spirit was telling me, because immediately we want to defend ourselves and keep ourselves protected, especially when you have lived a life where a lot of unjust things have happened to you and nothing has happened about it. So now you're really, amped up to defend yourself at any wrong length. So if we can take 3 deep breaths before we respond, and then respond in a way that will help to alleviate the stress of the situation, or that is more solution-based versus just an emotional response, a lot of times we'll get a better response, or later on, you don't know how you impacted that person's life to where they go back and reflect and say, you know what, my energy was low. I didn't have a reason to respond to these people or, engage with these people that I was, like I was. What's really going on with me is that I'm really upset about A, B, and C. It had nothing to do with these people. So sometimes, and hopefully a person that was initiating that type of low level energy is now able to self-reflect and see how they can add to becoming a better person. And if we all
a lot of people's problem, Melanie, and again, I was maybe, I speak from experience, because I had to learn how to smoothen it out. You know what I'm saying? I had a rough background. But a lot of people, not only are they raised around toxic stuff and toxic environments, so they exhibit that, and then they also reciprocate it with others or into the world and whatnot. And you got to learn how to turn your toxic into your positive. You know what I'm saying? You got to make that.
Yourself.
Yeah, you got to make whatever that.
By nature, your environment does affect your character, even if overall you're a positive person. There are certain push factors that can occur that will bring that environmental conditioning clean up out of you, especially if you're trying to be the positive light in a negative situation. Unfortunately, a lot of those who are already, predisposed and conditioned to this negativity, a lot of times they like to push your button to bring you back with us. Like, you ain't got nothing to be happy or positive about. You need to come over here with us. So a lot of times, you
respect your space. You gotta respect your space and your energy. You can't just let anybody around your space like that.
Yeah, you definitely got to. You definitely have to be mindful of who you are letting in your personal space. But sometimes, unfortunately, people are pushed to the limit, and then when it comes down to, okay, it is very apparent that these people do not want to play nice. It's very apparent that these people are not even interested in holding a conversation for a solution. Now, sometimes that conditioning from your environment is coming down and it's in a self-preservation mode, because you're not going to let them take you down. So now, you got to go to war a little bit to gain peace. And a lot of times you don't even realize how much your environment has impacted you until you start to move around. And you realize that things that have been consciously and subconsciously planted in you as a seed. And now, if you don't have control over your emotional response, you are responding like your environment taught you to respond. So we just have to become more aware of ourselves. Know thyself is extremely important. It's a necessity. If you're really trying to get to where you're trying to go, if you're trying to find your life purpose here, if you really want to make things better for the rest of the generations to come that you are creating. It all starts within us. They have like the anger management thing, classes and everything, and they're trying to teach you how to still maintain some type of discipline and self-control over yourself, even when things start to get hectic. Now, we cannot expect perfection from everybody with all situations, because some situations call for that type of response, because the person on the other end is not, they have only one goal, and it is to destroy. So some people you cannot negotiate with. And we have to know the difference between those that we can save and those who don't want to be saved under any circumstance. We got to know the difference between the two. And I feel like the police officers really need to get in tune with their intuition despite their training. One thing I do know is that they do have authority to respond based on their own judgment, and it's like a lot of poor judgment going on around here, the officers. A lot of poor judgment. Like, start to go with your gut. Let your higher self lead you and guide you as far as how you're dealing with these people. Y'all need to take 3 deep breaths before you get out the car to approach somebody. You know, we can do this. We can do this. But as I was saying with Brown, Superintendent Brown, he was picked by Mayor Lightfoot. So, and do you know that he's actually only been the superintendent for the last 2 months? He came in during the whole COVID pandemic when things were rising. And on a good note, he did release more than 1,600 Cook County jail inmates during the COVID crisis to make sure that they can be at home and be safe. So that part was good. You know, I give credit where credit is due. But on Monday, he vowed to push others into the criminal system to keep, and they are urging the courts to, instead of like certain people who were supposed to get out of jail this week, if they are in on drug and gun charges, he was asking the courts to actually keep them locked up during the July 4th holiday and maybe release them next week to try to prepare for this new virus. Huh?
You don't want them popping off on the 4th.
Yeah. So he's like, let's just let them sit there for a few more days and then we can let them come home.
Hey, Melanie,
so
can I make a quick little announcement for the ladies about the police in Chicago for awareness? So
yeah,
I watched the news this morning. They're telling all the females, younger, older, to be careful when you go to your car. If there's like a little rubber band or a card or anything hanging from your mirrors, especially your passenger mirror, that it's pretty much a decoy for the female to walk over to the mirror and they're getting abducted. So if you see something on your mirror, ladies, don't even pay it no mind until you leave that spot and you know, you get home. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I see that. I just wanted to say that today, ladies, be careful of stuff hanging by on your mirrors. I guess suspects are using that method to abduct ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. I saw somebody sent me a video. The lady was coming out from grocery shopping, and you know how you unlock your car and all the locks, you know, all the doors unlocked, and one man ended up, as she was putting the groceries in, they letting her put the groceries in, and then one man ended up getting in the back seat of her car, and then the other man came in, you know, pushed her in, and you know, they ended up taking her in, the car, the groceries, and I'm just like flabbergasted looking at this, you know, and it's like, did they catch these people? What did they do to this lady? Like, what was even your motivation for taking a lady? Like, even if you wanted the car, you could have left the lady outside. Like, what is going on here? What is going on here? And then it's very unfortunate that we as a people just don't feel safe. It's very unfortunate that we as women overall don't feel safe. And the men who are supposed to protect us a lot of times are the ones who are hurting us, and then yet we can't trust the police either because we don't know what they're doing. It's really a sad situation at this time. And then it's like, who's protecting the children? So we really just need to get a lot of things together. I don't know, maybe it's my, well, no, I can't even say it's my psychology degree because I always was one who wanted to know what was behind this, what's behind this behavior here. What is pushing, what is motivating you to engage and participate in life the way that you're doing? So
I mean, to be abducting women and carjacking ladies and things that have to do with the woman, you know, and you got to be a victim of some type of that form of abuse early in life, or you just criminally mindedly evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
a bad spirit. You know what I'm saying? We need to cleanse your
Yeah.
spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We definitely got to do something. And right now, Superintendent Brown is pleading with the people, and I quote, um, we're pleading with the court system to keep them in jail for the weekend, explaining that the people arrested for or dealing or buying drugs on the street corners may not be charged with violent crimes. So those who are, they catch you dealing with dealing drugs or after engaging in this street life, they're pleading with the court system to keep those people in, because it's actually adding to the gunfights between the violent gangs. So we here at on the Chilove radio show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, on Spotify Premium, we are concerned. Okay, and I want to elaborate and ask. So they buying and dealing drugs on the street corners, and it's contributing to the gunfight between the violent gangs. So is that because other gangs, are they robbing other gangs? I thought everybody had their own work and set up in their own operations.
Well,
What does the drug part?
Truth be told, Melanie, I don't know how it go on the south side, right? But I know dudes from the south side. And you get a glimpse of stuff from the west side that also, I mean, it's all the same thing. Since the 90s, since I can remember, like in Chicago, you always gonna get a chief locked up. You gonna get a runner locked up. You gonna get a bundle guy locked up. You gonna get a pack worker locked up, and you always gonna have stick up man. And you always gonna have people fighting for different territories. So
Okay.
as you got different crews moving it, you always gonna have that kind of violence. Especially you gotta understand. Some blocks do 1,000 a night. Some blocks might do 25,000 a night. You know what I'm saying? And so if you asking, why do you think people are fighting over these drug corners and whatnot? It's all economics. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And territory. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. So if it's territory, then y'all need to make sure that your block is safe.
Yes.
Shouldn't you all, if this is you all territory and y'all taking claim, little blocking whoever else y'all got going on.
That's another thing though, Melanie. That's another thing though, right? Sometimes you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 block guys, and that ain't they block. You know what I'm saying? But they tipping on this block. No, let's keep it real though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know, sometimes you got a whole crew on. Let's just say one of the L blocks, Long, Latrobe.
Yeah.
And man, two of them might be brothers from the hundreds. Two of them off 63rd. I mean, I'm just giving you, you know what I'm saying, the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's how it go.
But okay. Well, I understand.
The way it should be though. You know what I'm saying? Even if you come from wherever you come from and you tipping and you get money on this block, you should be taking care of the block.
Right. Because I know when I was younger coming up, on the what we call it, on the one deuce and the one trade. That's what we call the area.
Okay.
On one deuce and the one trade. The man who was over there leading the stuff is now deceased, but he used to, have everybody pull up in their vans and stuff to everybody on the block get in. Take the whole block, go see a baseball game, take you out the hood. Had people pouring concrete and stuff to develop, to make like a little basketball court, so that because they was getting into it with the people over there in Franklin Park. So now you ain't got to go over there. We're gonna put a basketball court on the block. Unfortunately, the police came and literally tore it down. But he was using his resources to try to make sure that everybody was eating and everybody was protected, and he was trying to take them off the block and show them that it was more to the world than just the four corners, that everybody was used to being on. So if we could try to get back to some of that type of activity, that would be great. That'd be great.
I grew up along them lines. I had the older guys that would take us to Great America, the batting cages. We'd have block parties, and you had the guys making sure that all the kids always on the block got the ice cream truck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what we used to do. Yeah, pass that all them dollars to
and the ones that was out of school, we was cleaning the block, and they was giving us money. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no leaves, no garbage, nothing on the block. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it actually helped them with their business on the economic side, because they were showing respect to the elders. If somebody did like wild out, they were stepping in to help correct the situation. So then a lot of times when the police was coming up and, trying to take one of them down, the community wasn't talking. They didn't have a reason to talk. This man was good, what I'm saying, in our eyes. So we ain't got nothing to do with that. But the superintendent is, trying to get more people to participate with them. And as I said earlier, Superintendent Brown, we just definitely need to have more changes made so that you can get the participation that you want from the resident. Because yes, we do acknowledge that not every police officer is out here abusing their powers, but unfortunately, there has been enough noise made and such an established pattern to where the trust is just really minimal, if anything. But with the most recent spasm of gunfire, especially over the past few weeks, and it hasn't just been with the death of rival gang members, but with the killing of children, and that is what is really starting to make people irate. That is part of his motivation for saying, because we have a $2,500 to $25,000 reward. Because we have a 1-year-old child who was riding with his mother, and a 10-year-old girl who was inside her home when a bullet fired from a block away and pierced the window and struck her in the head as she sat on the couch. Now, we don't have any suspect, and he's calling for the people to speak up, and he's saying, what is his quote? I'm going to give it. For God's sake, for the sake of Chicago's children, please help us bring these murderers to justice. He refers to the gunmen as evil bastards. He said that silence empowers those who continue to terrorize our neighborhood. Now, he does have a point with that. If nobody, I have heard people say out their mouth, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. You could say what you want, you could cry for it, and you ain't gonna do nothing. So unfortunately, we need people to start to do something. And unfortunately, we're at a place where we don't have that the quorum with police officers to where we're willing to speak. Hopefully, within the community, somebody is deciding to do something to bring about justice on behalf of these children. That's the part that I don't like it. You should be able, these children are not able to have childhood. They have to grow up so fast. They are under the perception that this is just an evil world, a cold world, a bad world. What type of seeds? How do we expect these children to grow up and be productive citizens if the only seeds that are being poured into them is that they are unsafe, and that they have to grow up to manifest into some sort of beast just to keep themselves protected? We on the wrong plane right there. And when it comes to something like innocent people and children being killed unjustly, there needs to be some type of cooperation, perhaps between the residents and the police, because like I said, legally at this time, they are the ones who can actually step in and act without the repercussions that a civilian would have if they took the matter into their own hands. But if you're gonna move, make it, make it worth it. Make it be for a justifiable reason, not just because you simply don't like somebody. Like, you might not like the person today and realize that they okay, tomorrow or 6 months from now. Your perception and the vibrational level that you are on determines how you receive and perceive, and things that are going on around you. And sometimes it is your eye, because you can't trust anybody. So now you don't see a silver lining in anything. But once you start to do some self-healing, you do acknowledge that there are things going on out here in this world that are unjust, but you still see some type of silver lining in the situation. You still start to get some type of understanding of where this other person is coming from. Something in your heart wants to try to help to make things better. So, they are using money, which is a good tactic, especially with everything that's going on with the lack of jobs and unemployment rates and just everything that's going on at this time. So if you could use the extra $25,000 in your life, please contact 1312-747-8340, or you can go to cpdtip.com. Now, they did say, and these two kids who died and that the resident and the business organizations came about, it was Early Walker. He started the organization called I'm Telling. I'm telling, don't shoot. So we're trying to get rid of this don't snitch narrative. So he got an organization called I'm Telling. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. So Sincere Gaston is the 1-year-old who died while he was next to his mom in the car when they opened up fire. Then Makai James is actually a 3-year-old who got killed. He was next to his father. And those two are the ones that they are giving the reward money for. Now, if the shooter has a conscience and you decide to turn yourself in, they are saying that the $25,000 reward money will be used towards your legal fees. Will be used towards your legal fees. That's what you say.
They ain't gonna put it on his commissary.
Yeah, I think maybe if they tell them, like, a lot of these shooters probably have families and stuff of their own. They probably was out there in the streets helping to bring in resources for their family. Maybe if y'all said that some of the money can go towards that man's child or towards their mama, if they were a resource for the family, maybe they'll come out and do that, because a lot of times people know that they're going to do a bid, but they're concerned about their family. They're concerned about what's going to happen to their children, what's going to happen to their mama, because they were being relied upon. So maybe that will be more of a motivation for people to turn themselves in. But while the police are out, hopefully we try to do this real smooth and real sweet. But in the event that there are police who are abusing their powers, the police complaint number is 1-866-588-0569. Community Counseling Centers of Chicago, 1773-365-7277. And the CPD tip hotline, if you want that $25,000, 1312-747-8380, cpdtip.com. Please make a risk management plan if you're going to be snitched. Have some type of other place that you can relocate to, because people knew that you didn't have $25,000. If so-and-so end up locked up and they knew you had something to do with it, and all of a sudden you come into some money, I'm thinking maybe you should relocate, keep it low for a little bit until things blow over. And just remember that we here at the Chilove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium love you. We want the best for you. Enjoy yourself this weekend. Please try to be safe. Police officers, use your gut. Remember that you are a person too. And if you are in their shoes, treat them as you would want to be treated. Remember the golden rule. Love.
Y'all have a good July 4th weekend. Make sure to hit the little right there, the little red button, subscribe. Make sure to go through Melanie Hogan page and hit the little follow and give her a little love and all that good stuff. It's your boy Chris and Fan from Pop Radio Worldwide, putting on People Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium. It's been another Zoom 10 of the Chilove Radio Show. Bye.